Hi, and welcome to Here with Laura. I'm your host, Laura Williams, and I'm a designer, entrepreneur, and mom. And this is a space where real life and meaningful conversations meet. Today's guest is an inspiration to all entrepreneurs out there, proving that you don't need to start your business before 30 to find great success. She is a powerhouse woman that stands out in a predominantly male driven industry. Please welcome Janine Starr, founder and owner of J9 Home, a boutique building firm here in Austin.
Hi, Laura.
Thank you for being here.
Sure, I'm excited to visit with you.
So, Janine, you and I met through my husband.
Yes.
You guys were at a networking event and he came home and he was like, you need to meet this woman, Janine. I gave her your number.
I love that.
She's wonderful. You guys are going to hit it off, blah, blah, blah. And he went on and on and on. And then
thank you.
When we sat down, I was like, you were right. You know.
Yeah.
So tell me, how did you get your start in construction and building and everything that you're doing?
So I started in 2013, and I gave myself coaching lessons or coaching courses with a friend of mine. I was turning 40, so it was part of my 40th birthday gift to myself. And I knew I wanted to do something different. I lost my mom and I lost my dad when I was fairly young. And I had been in HR and consulting in the corporate world for a long time and wanted to do something that I was a bit more passionate about. And I didn't know what that was. And so I did these coaching classes. And it was funny. It was completely different than I expected. When I got in there, she did this whole numerology thing that was very just...
So what does that mean?
Well, I would love to be able to explain it completely, but a little like horoscopy and took numbers from like my date of birth and different events in my life.
So a little woo-woo, but...
A little bit for me, a little bit, like very out of my comfort zone as far as knowing the details of it.
Yeah.
But all these numbers came back and were like, this all shows that you should be doing something in construction or building or real estate or design or architecture. And I was like, that's crazy. Because that's exactly what I think I want to do.
That's so cool. I got chills.
It was very crazy. And because at first when we were doing it, and this is a good friend of mine, I used to be in HR with her and she's amazing. So I trusted her.
Yeah.
But still, it was very different than I expected. And so we started visiting, and she actually had a client who she was doing business coaching with, who was a builder.
Oh.
And she was like, why don't y'all sit down and have coffee? And so we did. And after a few conversations, I came home and I told my husband I was quitting a very lucrative HR job to go work with Matt. And I wasn't sure what I was going to be doing. And I wasn't sure what the role was going to be, what the responsibilities were going to be, or what I would actually get paid. But I was going to take a leap of faith and give it a try. And so
it's a good thing you did.
Yes. And so I've never looked back. It was really, it was exactly what I needed. And the way it all came together felt very serendipitous. So
that's amazing. But how scary to make such a big jump at that point in your life, too. I mean, you're also a mother of two.
Yep.
So you have a lot at stake.
Yes. I mean, I had the support of my husband, which was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been super supportive, even with my craziness. So he was like, give it a try. And it evolved. I ended up running the remodel, like creating and running the remodel division for this builder. And I did that for 8 years before I branched out on my own.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So after 8 years, you felt like it was time for you to create something of your own.
Again, just really serendipitous. A few different things happened in his world and in mine that it felt like the right time. And it just all kind of evolved and started to pull things together and went out under my own brand, very naively thinking that it was going to be a super easy switch because I had an LLC, I was my own business, I had employees, they just all ran under his brand. And so I thought, branching out on my own, it's like some insurance and back office stuff, super easy. What I didn't realize was absolutely false. One, just like, I always had a really strong work ethic. I always have. But having your name on it does something to you, right? And I mean, you know that.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it was like, we can do things differently.
Mm-hmm.
We can do things better. We can really elevate this.
Well, and you've experienced it firsthand, so you know
Mhm.
what people are expecting and how
Yep.
you can make the difference to exceed those expectations.
Right. And that's what we're trying to do is just constantly elevate the service that we provide,
Mhm.
and constantly exceed expectations.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and that's why you're considered a boutique, building firm. I mean, boutique means something, especially in a place like Austin.
right,
It
right.
makes you stand out. You're not
Mhm.
just another run-of-the-mill builder,
No,
construction company.
no, we really want to establish our place as like, I mean, we have a really great team. I have 8 people on my team right now.
Mhm.
We don't foresee ourselves growing much larger than that, maybe adding a couple of project managers eventually. But we wanna stay small. We
Yeah.
wanna stay close-knit, and for us, it's about developing a relationship with our clients, a long-term relationship with them.
Mhm.
I just got a text while I was in the waiting room, and it's from a client whose project we finished. She was actually my, like, first client under J9 Homes,
Oh, wow.
and she texted a couple of questions, and I just love that, that we can still connect and talk, and
Yeah.
that's what I want is somebody who knows they can always reach out and that we're here for them.
Yes.
That it's not just someone who's we say it's not just,
One and done.
one and done
Yeah.
or some people in a truck. Like, it's about a relationship.
No, it's so true. It's funny, I had a very similar experience last week where
Mhm.
a client of mine, she wants to paint the exterior of her house. I finished her home, I guess 2 years ago at this point, but it was just so funny. She's like, "I just wanted to get your opinion, if you could give me a call, blah, blah, blah." I'm like,
Right.
"Anything for you because I love you." Like
Right. Right. Yeah.
I'm like, "I'll have a conversation. That's
Right.
20 minutes of my time to give you my opinion
Exactly.
when, you don't need a full run-of-the-mill design service from
Right.
this."
Right.
So, but I think that people value that. You are human and you are kind and you care about them and you just want them to love their home and where they are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your background is in HR.
Mhm.
How has that helped you with your team development? I mean, I can imagine, I wish I had that background because I'm figuring it out every day with my team.
Right. It's so funny because, I mean, I did something different because HR wasn't really my passion and wasn't really what I wanted to be doing, and
Yeah.
I just laugh now because I use
It's
that
still the same.
experience every day. I mean, between, communications, client management,
Mhm.
expectation management, change management, our team, our trades, I mean, it comes into play constantly.
Mhm.
And Kelly on my team, she and I met when we both worked at Accenture, and we both have an HR background. And it's just so funny that we both bring that expertise and professionalism to our business.
Yeah.
But I mean, I literally use it every single day, you
That's
know?
amazing.
So, and it's helpful, right? It's hard when you're a small business owner because you're wearing so many hats, but it makes some of that a bit easier. And I would love to say we never have to have challenging conversations, but we do.
Yeah,
And
it's
so,
reality.
I have a lot of experience with that from my HR background.
I feel like I need to just get some of that from your brain because
Yes,
that's something that I struggle
absolutely.
with. It's really hard as a business owner to
Mhm.
figure out when to have those conversations,
Right.
how to have those conversations,
Mhm.
and kind of when to know, like, enough is enough and maybe we need to make a change,
Right.
which is the hardest part of
Yeah.
doing,
I mean, and like you said, you care about people. And
Mhm.
so,
Well,
it's
and when it's a
hard.
small business, these people become your family.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's your clients or your employees or your trades, like,
Yeah.
it's all about relationships. It really is.
Yeah. So, with scaling, since it is boutique, you
Mhm,
want to keep a small team.
mhm,
How do you know really when you need to open up another position to
mhm.
bring someone else on, knowing that you want to keep it on the smaller scale?
It's really mainly driven by revenue. We used
Mhm.
to do it by projects, and so the number of projects we were doing, but now it's more evaluating where we are from a revenue perspective and knowing that we have enough in the pipeline to bring on another project manager to basically manage that book of business. So,
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I think there's always the line where you want to stay ahead of it too. And
absolutely.
that's such a hard,
Yep.
it's because it's not definitive. It's like,
Right.
well, I foresee this happening soon, but then if you hire too early, you're
Mhm.
in trouble.
Well, and you can't hire too late because you
You're
need
also in
somebody
trouble.
you're also in trouble. You're basically always in trouble. So
Why do we do this? Yeah.
but, like, I mean, you have to know enough that you're going to be able to bring somebody in with a bit more time to train.
Mhm.
And we've done that well, and we've done that poorly in the past. And so just being much more intentional going forward
Mhm.
and also recognizing there's opportunity, like I like to say, to still have my hands in the dirt.
Yeah.
So I can't manage a lot of projects and also grow the business and run the business.
Mhm.
But being able to do a project here or there is really nice. And I'm doing one right now for some repeat clients, which is the best compliment.
Mhm.
And so working with them has been a ton of fun. And just being able to be in the process and see what we're asking our project managers to do, what I'm asking our team to do.
Yeah, I'm sure it reframes, it's different from the outside looking in when you're just overseeing the project with another project manager
Right.
actually running the day to day.
Right.
It's nice to get your, hands a little dirty
Yep.
and see actually what is
Yeah.
being required of these people,
And
especially as you put in new processes
yep.
all the time due
Yep.
to experiences that you have. Things need to
Mhm.
shift and
Yep.
yeah.
And just being in touch with the trades and our subs
Mhm.
and our suppliers and seeing how they interact. It's a really nice checkpoint. So that's one way to manage the scaling is to know that we need to flex in positions. And
Mhm.
so some of us who may not be full-time project managers can step in and handle a project here or there.
Yes.
And so that allows us to manage that a little bit. And then ideally, the best thing would be if I could bring in a project manager while I'm running a project, and they could
Mhm.
shadow me on that. And
'Cause
then
then they're learning
mhm.
firsthand from you
Yep,
versus,
exactly. Or even shadow one of our other experienced project managers, for a few months before we put them on their own. That would be the ideal way, and that's what we're trying to do on this next round.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
So you mentioned to me before this that you kind of fell in love for construction because your father was actually in the trade.
Yep.
Tell me about how that influenced everything.
It's so funny. So I lost my dad when I was in my mid-20s, and, I know he's proud of me, but my dad owned a plumbing company in San Antonio. And I never thought that I would go into construction. I never
Yeah.
thought I would go into the industry. And I really just realize now how much I learned by watching him without even
Mhm.
realizing what I was learning.
Yeah.
I mean, we were on a construction site all the time growing up, whether it was the home that he and my mom built together or my mom was in real estate. So I visited a lot of homes with her.
Oh my goodness.
And I just always thought everybody knew how a house was built or how a building went up. And it was really just kind of second nature to me. It's kind of funny. When I first went to work with Matt, my previous partner, one of the things he said to me a few months in was, "You really know a lot more about construction than I thought you did." I was like, "Well, thanks for taking a risk on me with,
Yeah, without realizing that.
without realizing how much I know." And I mean, I just thought everybody knew how things fit. And I've obviously learned a ton. It's been over a decade and I've learned so much. And I'm so grateful for my trades and my subs who have patience with me to help me learn.
Mhm.
They've been amazing teachers. And,
Well, and they also know that as you learn, then next time it's gonna be much easier for all parties.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, so just, kind of spending time as a family, really, because that's what we did was
Yeah.
we went and we visited job sites. My kids would die if I made them do that today. So,
That's so funny.
yeah,
Oh my goodness. And your kids are college age,
they are.
which
Yep.
is crazy because I feel like that's just a blink of an eye away for me and I can't even think about it.
It goes so fast. And I will say, both of my kids would probably say that I worked a lot when they were younger. And it's a hard season, right, to spend so much time in your business and working on your business.
Yeah.
But I know that they're both really proud of where we are today. And so that's pretty
Well,
cool.
and it's such an inspiration for
I hope
them,
so. I hope
to
so.
see
Yeah.
what your hard work has done and
Mhm.
how you are just kind of a powerhouse woman who's
Oh,
just
thank you.
owning things. And I kinda tapping into that, I mean, how is it being such a staple woman figure in such a predominantly male industry? I mean, on
Yeah.
my side, I mean, even when I go into job sites as the designer, it's almost like I don't wanna say I'm dismissed because 'cause I'm not, but it's
Right.
just
Right.
it takes a lot more for them to take me seriously
Mhm.
than it would if, you know, I was someone from their trade or,
Right.
but even just if I were male.
Right. I
So,
so it's interesting to me watching the change in the industry, and I would say in the last, like, 3 to 5 years, the number of women who are stepping into the general contractor role has really significantly increased. I used to feel like I was out here on my own,
yeah.
and there's definitely been a trend where people are realizing, I mean, it takes a lot of organization skills and
Mhm.
it takes a lot of attention to detail. And there's fantastic male builders out there. So this is not to discount them at all. But people have realized there's an opportunity here, and women have realized that. And I felt a lot more challenges when I was fresh to the industry and, got some pushback from some of the trades who
Yeah.
didn't think I knew what I was doing. And it really just took a little bit more proving myself than maybe it
And
would
it probably
have.
gave you some really thick skin
Oh,
too.
yes, I have I have very thick
Yeah.
skin. I always tell people that. I'm like, "You're not going to offend me, just be honest,
Yeah.
tell
Just
me
tell
how
me
you
how it
feel.
is
Tell me
straight
how
so
it
we can
is."
pivot.
Right, exactly. Like, "Let's get this done. Let's get
Yeah.
it done. So what
Yeah.
do we need to get this done?" And there's still a little bit of that. Every once in a while, we'll work with someone new, and you can tell that it seems like they're a little put off.
Yeah.
Having a few males on my team, it's always helpful. I'm like, "Are you feeling this too, or is it because 'cause I'm a woman?" Because I don't really wanna jump to that conclusion all the time.
No.
So,
Yeah. But that's really cool. And I mean, what what an amazing thing that you're able to do this, and now you have
mhm.
such confidence even more than you did before going onto the job site
Yeah,
and, speaking with all these people who maybe would not take you seriously before,
right,
And a lot
right.
of that is your knowledge. You've gained so much knowledge, even
Mhm.
more than when you came in, so that's
Yes, absolutely.
and experience.
Yeah,
Experience will do it.
experience helps for
Yeah.
sure.
That's amazing. So, you mentioned to me that you've been in here in Austin for 25 years?
Yep, I moved in 2000, so
You've experienced a lot of change.
it's been we were just driving into downtown yesterday to head over, to campus,
Oh, just the
and
skyline alone is so
it
different.
was really clear yesterday.
Mm.
It's unbelievable, the growth downtown.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable, and then, even on the outskirts, and we do most of our work in central Austin,
Mm.
but Dripping Springs has grown tremendously. Kyle and Buda are just suburbs of Austin now. Georgetown, you talk to so many people who
Oh,
are moved
yeah.
to Georgetown and are still commuting into
I
Austin,
just read this morning that they're trying to create like a sub-city in Georgetown where it's
Mhm.
gonna be like another hyper-focused, like, cool city in Georgetown, but just on the outskirts of
Yeah.
Austin. I just read
Yeah.
that this morning.
It's just the growth has been obviously, it's been very lucrative for our business. It's been good. Um, and being centralized, like trying to do most of our work in central Austin, since we
Mhm.
do specialize in remodels, is really amazing because there's so many fantastic neighborhoods. We love Terrytown and Pemberton and
Yes.
all of that. Westlake Hills, we do a lot of work in Westlake. And so all of those areas, people want to be central still,
Mhm.
but the homes are older. And so,
Do you find that there is a balance maybe between the husband and wife when they buy a home in these areas and one of them wants to bulldoze it and build something new and then the other's like, "No, let's keep this and then maybe make it bigger." And, have you seen a lot of that in
it's
these areas?
it's interesting. Women and men always come to the table, or partners always come to the table with, it seems like, very different
Mhm.
perspectives of what they want. And again, going back to the HR experience, it's all about people management
Yes.
and helping them to get on the same page and what it means. What we usually see is that one person is the money person and one person is like the design and vision
Mhm.
person, and they're not always on the same page.
Yeah.
So,
One might have expensive taste, the other
yes,
might not realize how expensive things are.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so trying to help marry that is usually where we find ourselves.
Yeah, and that's so tough because as you're coming up with these, plans and what you're going to create, I
Mhm.
mean, how do you find that line? That's amazing.
Part of it for us is we just wanna get more and more involved earlier on in the
Mhm.
conversations. So, like,
Mhm.
bringing your team in early so that we can sit down and while we're planning the budget, you're planning the design.
Mhm.
And those are
And the
happening.
finishes so that they
Yes,
can marry each other.
exactly. It's
Mhm.
happening in tandem, right? Like the paneling in this room. If we didn't include this, it's going to be a change order.
Yes.
So if you have this in your mind, we want to know early
Mhm.
so that the client doesn't fall in love with it, but it's not in the budget,
Yeah.
right?
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's great. So you say you focus mostly in Central Austin, but you
Mhm.
do kind of go a little bit outside of that at times. What's
Mhm.
going to bring you out of that Central Austin area? What type of project excites you to go beyond your borders?
So either a new build,
Yeah.
or a full remodel down to the studs type of
Mhm.
thing. And then who we're working with, because it
Yes.
really is all about the people. So the right client, the right design partner, the right architect, that's going to take us outside of our regular areas.
And what's beautiful is when you're able to be in a position where you choose the clients you
Mhm.
want to work with,
Yeah,
too.
absolutely. Absolutely.
It feels hard to get to that point
Mhm.
because you're like, "Oh, but they wanna pay me money, and I'm running a business, and I
Right.
need to keep, the doors open, and I need to pay all my people, and
Yep.
so, yes, we need this project." But then also, if it doesn't seem like a good fit, it's not worth the headache,
And
and
it's
something else will come along.
And I mean, once you're in that relationship, you're in that relationship for a long
Long
time.
time.
And when it's not a good relationship, it usually lasts longer than you want it to.
Yeah.
So,
No,
yeah.
absolutely. How long is a typical down to the studs, let's say, 4,000 square foot house? How long of a project does that typically take if you have all your plans set
Mhm.
from breaking ground day of demo
Yeah.
to, finished product?
So depending on the house, I mean, I would somewhere between 10 and 18 months,
Mhm.
most likely.
Yeah.
It depends on the finishes, it depends on the selections, it
Yeah.
depends on how many of those details really are fleshed out.
Mhm.
So we have a process where we go through and we have our pre-construction items that we want confirmed before we break ground. We're starting to become more and more strict about allowing us to break ground when we don't have those, just because we know it slows it down.
It does, and then
Mhm.
it frustrates the client because
Yes.
things are taking longer than they expected.
Absolutely. So, really trying to stick to that and make sure we can have all those pre-construction items finished beforehand.
I've recently implemented a document having my clients sign off saying, these are the things that could delay your project that are
Mhm.
out of our control.
Right.
And it's like, please sign off on all these things. I walk
Mhm.
them through it. It's like
Yeah.
20 items or something.
Right.
But it's just before we start anything on our
Yeah.
project kickoff date, it's like,
Mhm.
these are the things out of my control because you deal with enough headaches. And over time, it's like, these people need to know these things. And I've said it to them, but I need in writing that they heard
Right.
it.
Right. And how many times, though, like, you don't wanna ever have to refer back to that when you're
No.
in a project with someone.
Mhm.
How many times do you refer back to it? Do you find yourself needing to?
Not yet, but
Not
it's
yet.
kind of a recent
Right.
addition.
Yeah.
So,
We have a client expectations document that we share at our kickoff meetings, and it's something that I feel like we could revise probably before every single project because there's
yeah,
always something new.
that you learn from the last project, you're like, "Ooh, gotta
Exactly.
add that in."
Right,
Yeah.
right. But that's one thing that I love about you, Laura, is that you're thinking of those things too,
Mhm.
because when you're on the same page and you're coming from it as a united team and saying like we've done this before,
Yeah.
we both know these will slow it down. Like if you can't make a paint decision,
Yeah.
right? Like I
That
can
pushes everybody
pushes
back.
everybody back.
Mhm.
And I know it feels like you shouldn't have to pick out your paint 3 months before the painter arrives, but if we're starting at square one, then that can take a long time for people to make that commitment.
Yeah.
So,
That's why they need to just bring us along,
that's
and we
right.
just make the decisions for them.
That's exactly right. Just trust me. Trust us.
You're like, "I know what I'm talking about. It's fine."
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Oh my goodness. So, tapping a bit into that, what does the typical builder designer relationship look like to your business?
So my ideal
Yes.
situation is
Yeah, let's
that
say ideal, not typical.
ideal is that one, I love when I can meet with a client and they haven't even picked out a designer or an architect, and I can understand their needs, right? And understand what they're trying to obtain out of the build
Mhm.
and help them hand select a designer or an architect. And
And refer someone from your network that
mhm,
you like to work with.
yep.
You know that they're going to meet your expectations. You're
Mhm,
going to be on the same page as
mhm,
far as timeline
yep.
and needs and
Exactly.
yeah.
And a designer who understands the needs to follow a process, right? And because, I mean, design is an art and it's creative, and I get that it needs to flow and that sometimes it is hard to envision something so early on, but having a designer who understands the value in identifying things early and how that makes things run more smoothly during the project.
Yeah.
We like to call it controlling the controllables because there's so many things
I
that
love
we
that.
can't control.
Yes.
So we want to try to control the things that we can.
Well, there are so many unforeseens, especially if you're doing a renovation.
Yes.
I mean, renovations, you could open the wall and literally, you know what will hit the fan. It
Yes.
just can go from here to
Mhm.
here
Yep.
immediately. So if you have as many things that you can control
Right.
under control.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, the unexpected is going to happen with
Yeah.
a remodel, and there should always be a contingency with that in mind. And then it depends on the scope of the remodel. It depends on the age of the home. But if we're doing a 1930s remodel, right, in Pemberton,
Yeah, you don't know what you're going to run
we
into.
don't know what we're going to run into. We have an idea because we've done it a lot. And
You're going to have to
so
repipe. You're going to have to.
all of it, right?
Everything.
Everything's going to have to be new. I mean, whether we're running into asbestos or we're running into cast iron or what it might be. And so just planning ahead for that, we like to come to the table and like, let's plan for the unexpected.
Yeah.
Let's assume we're going to have to do
It will
this.
most likely cost this much.
Right.
But if we're really lucky, it'll only cost this much.
That's right.
And it'll be great. And we'll be under your budget.
Yeah. And I always love to say that, I mean, we can build a custom home from the ground up with our eyes closed compared to the complicated projects that we've done that are remodels.
Yes.
You know, a down to the studs remodel with an addition has its challenges. And so builders didn't used to want to take on remodels. With the shift in the market this last couple of years, there's more custom home builders who are also taking on remodels just because that market's a bit stronger. But most builders would prefer to do a ground up build. So
yeah, because you, again, can control the whole thing. You know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
The only difference is maybe having to deal with the city a little bit more.
Permitting's gotten easier.
You think so?
It really has. I mean, people are afraid of the permitting process if they're not in the industry and they've heard such horror stories. But the city of Austin's been easier to deal with since the pandemic.
And again, if you're planning ahead, it's not as stressful. If you give yourself the appropriate amount of time to where you think when you want to start and you're backlogging a little bit on your time.
Yeah. And there's a whole point in time where inspections and the permitting process really slows down in a build, right? Because once you're to drywall, you don't have any additional inspections until you get to your closing. So
that's great. Tapping into a little bit of a personal thing, what are some daily rituals you have that kind of make you who you are? Is there anything that kind of sparks you every day that just kind of keeps you going? Because I know for me, I mean, I wake up at 5 so I can have my me time, whether it's working out or getting ahead on my emails and work. I've recently tried really hard to not look at work over the weekend, at least on Saturday and Sunday. Like Friday night, sometimes I still will. But Saturday and Sunday, I want to focus on my family. I want to spend time with them. I don't want to check on things if I don't have to. Granted, if jobs are happening and I need to pop in or, put out a fire, I will. But 5 a.m., I've got everything figured out by 7. I'm all caught up. And then I have my coffee. And then kids are waking up and it's easy. I feel like that's kind of my day-to-day that I need to have is like an early morning to myself. Do you have anything like that kind of like gets you going?
Well, it's kind of fun because my husband and I are in a different stage than you, right? So we're officially empty nesters. And it's interesting how your days flow differently because we can ebb and flow in and out of work all 7 days of the week and definitely try to put some parameters around that and have a day of rest and take a break. But it is nice that we don't have the same demands from a family perspective as we did a few years ago. And so I can sleep in a little bit later. I still like to be up before 7, like up and going and have that quiet time. And just to have some moment to myself and check emails. Try not to be as much of a night owl as I used to be. So I used to work way, way, way too late into the night. And so now I'd rather get up early in the morning, have a few quiet hours to get things going, spend a little less time on my computer in the evenings. But that's part of it is just it just ebbs and flows a little bit more smoothly without, like, the demands of sports and the demands of school and all of that.
Yes, I had a soccer-filled weekend.
Yes. Yeah. So that's funny. My husband actually said just yesterday, "I'm so glad our kids didn't play soccer."
I know.
It's a commitment,
It
right?
is,
It's
but
a big
it's fun, and
commitment.
if they love
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
I'm like, "If you want that to be your sport,
Right.
fine. I'll be that crazy mom on the sideline
That's
that's like."
right. I know it has its
Yeah,
benefits for
it
sure.
does. No, my daughter actually said to me the other day, she goes, "Mom, can you not scream for me as loudly as you normally do?" I'm
Oh,
like,
that's funny.
"Why? I'm just so excited to see you on the field and you do such a great job."
Right,
And
right.
she's like, "Right, but it's a little embarrassing." I'm like, "You should be proud. You should be proud I'm shouting for you. You should just, like,
Yeah.
start jumping in the air."
Scream louder next
Yeah.
time.
Oh,
So
I did.
exactly. Yeah. Was this loud enough?
Yeah.
So
I think I could get louder.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, that's too funny.
Mhm.
So, as an empty nester, are there any things that you are able to do now besides have the ebb and flow of your work, but just that you are kind of really appreciative right now?
I think that just it's a really exciting time in our business. We just bought office space that we're going to build out. And
Yay!
so, kind of that's a new step for us. And
Mhm.
so, um, building this little space for our team feels exciting.
Do you
Um,
guys currently have a place that you all get together in and meet in person besides job sites?
well, my home.
Okay.
So we used my home quite a bit, and I'm ready for our team to have a spot. One, I live somewhat south, and we want to be a bit more central. So we bought an office space in Westlake, which is perfect location, and it allows us to gather as a team a bit more easily.
Will that
And
be client facing? Are you going to bring your clients in there and everything?
that's the plan. Yeah, we're working with some of our trades and vendors to showcase some of their products, so we're
That's
excited about
awesome.
that.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's gonna be a game changer. I mean, just having a place where you all can be,
Mhm.
I find it hard to find a balance to not be in the office all the time
Right.
because for me, I feel like my team expects me to be in there now.
Mhm.
So that's something that I've been dealing with personally where I'm like,
Right.
"Oh, but I feel like I'll be more productive if I just work from home today.
Right.
I'm not spending 25 minutes to drive into the office to
Yeah.
and from and,
Yeah.
at least the days that you have to just, like, grind it out on the computer."
Mhm. There are still those days, and I
Mhm.
do like to be in my office at home.
Yeah.
Just the other day, though, there were some people walking at the office park where we are, and they had their dogs, and I was like, "Is that allowed?" So that made me realize if I can bring my dogs to the
That'll
office,
be a whole
it'd be a
nother
whole 'nother
Yeah.
thing. Like, I'd be happy to spend the day there.
What kind of
So
dogs do you have?
I have, Fern is our 12-and-a-half-year-old chocolate lab. I
Aw.
know, she's so sweet, and then Maple is our mess. She's a hot mess, so she's a little microdoodle. So,
Oh, like,
yes.
little?
Yeah, she's 13 pounds.
Oh my
She's,
gosh.
and she is in charge of everything, including our sleep last night. She had us up all night long.
Oh,
Yeah, so,
no.
but
Well, those are your babies now.
they're it's so I mean, I remember before kids, like, our dog at that time, also a chocolate lab, was our everything, and now that the kids are gone, like, the dogs go everywhere with us again. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. We have a golden retriever,
Oh.
and her name's Delilah, but we call her the baby, so even my 6-year-old is like, "How's the baby? Baby! Delilah, my baby!"
Oh,
like
I
that,
love
and
it.
it's just so
Yeah.
funny because 'cause I'm like, "She's bigger than you."
Right. Right.
She's huge. She is younger by 2 years, but,
Yeah.
like, yeah, she's the baby of the family, and she knows it. Like, you walk in, and she's like, "Oh, good morning. Thank
Aw.
you for being here."
They're the best dogs. My husband wants a golden retriever.
She's the best, and she's an
Yeah.
English cream, so she's got the
Oh,
white blonde
yes,
hair,
yeah.
which I then had to get a white sofa
Yeah.
because she sits on the sofa,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I had one, like, I don't know, like a taupey
Mhm.
brown color before, and it was just so much hair. I'm like, "Gotta get a new
It's
sofa
the
now."
hair. I know, I
Yeah.
can't deal with the hair anymore.
I
I know.
know.
It's a
Labs
lot.
have a lot of hair.
Labs have a lot of hair.
Yeah.
Yep. Chocolate brown hair all over, all over.
Yeah.
So,
You mentioned that the little one, what's her
yes,
name?
Maple.
Maple, that she
Mhm.
keeps you up in the night. That's my cat.
Well, she doesn't always do that,
Oh,
but last
really?
night she was just up all the time. Yeah, I couldn't.
She's like, I know you have a day tomorrow where you want to look put together.
Right. Yeah. She's like, so let's wake up 12 times tonight. So it was really fun.
Yeah. No,
So,
my cat will come and meow in my face.
oh, no. Mm-mm.
And over the weekend, he was doing this I'm always up early. So if I'm not up at 5:30, 5:45, he's like, what's wrong with you? You should be waking up
Yes.
right now.
It's
Get up
time.
now.
It's
Let's go
time.
wake up Ella,
Yeah.
my daughter,
Yeah.
because he'll go in and he needs on her to wake her up. It's very sweet.
Yeah.
But like, not on the weekends. And so I ended up having to bring him into the laundry room. I'm like, this is not happening right now. Went downstairs, carried him, put him in there. Like when we let him out, when it was finally time, he gave me the meanest look.
Oh,
He
they
was
know.
so mad.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I
funny.
can't believe you did this to me.
That's
I was your
funny.
firstborn. You know?
I'm the baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
No, but we had him even before we had our children. So
Right.
he's 12 now.
Yeah.
Which
The pets, all the pets. It's so fun.
it's another level. And then my daughter today, I said, can we get another dog? Can we get a puppy? And I was like, no, we have enough chaos in our
I
lives.
will tell you. I mean, we had just one dog our entire marriage. And when we brought Maple in, she may have been a pandemic puppy. And I brought her in thinking that my kids would love to have a dog, and she's totally my dog.
Yeah.
But the two of them together, they like having a buddy. So
Yeah,
I might be
that is
on
nice.
I might be on your daughter's side.
Well, I will say, though, the cat and the dog hang out together.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
Kitty is his name.
Yeah.
Kitty.
Creative.
I know, I was really top notch with the name.
Right.
But he was just so little, and we just kept on calling him like, oh, little Kitty. His name when we adopted him was Seamus.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I don't know, we
Yeah.
just were calling him Kitty, and he responded to that. So then he was,
There you
and my
go.
daughter's first word was Kitty.
Oh, sweet.
Before Mama, before Dada,
Yeah.
it was Kitty.
There
so
you go.
that was the beginning of the end for
Yeah. That's funny.
But anyhow, no, they hang out together, the
There
cat
you
and the
go.
dog.
All
Like,
right.
if we're gone, they'll
Yeah.
both be sitting on the couch next to each other. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
You'd be amazed, though. Two dogs together.
I know.
There's-
Janine, I'm not going to do it.
I know.
I'm going to have
I
Chase
can't
is going to be
convince
so
you.
mad at you. He'll be like, why'd you have her on today?
That's right. That's right.
So, getting back into more important topics, you have a very high-end clientele for the most part, I would say, being in the areas of Austin that you're in and that you predominantly work in. Do you find that to be easier or more difficult than someone who's less high-end as far as budget? Or it's obviously easier when somebody has more money, but, more money, more problems.
Right. There's definitely there's been looking at a couple of different things, and there's definitely a bracket where, in Austin, if you're in the market to do a 1.5 or $2 million remodel, it's a lot of money, but there's still opportunity to do projects that are much larger and bigger scale.
Yeah.
And so in this one window, it's still a very big part of someone's personal investment. And so we're in their budget, we're in their homes, and we want to manage that like it's our money and it's our home. And so I think when you take that approach, it makes it easier.
And being
with a
more
client.
thoughtful of where your spending is going. Yeah.
Absolutely. And coming up with ideas for value engineering and ways to help them understand how to get that look for less. Or where maybe they get the most ROI on something and where it would be okay to skim back. I like to say, 1% of people might see this when they come in, or it's like, think about the last 5 homes you walked in.
Oh, yeah.
Did
you
they have that
notice?
detail?
Yeah.
Right? Because something
It's
that
getting the most bang for your buck. And, like you said, the ROI as far as look and, what you're going to actually use in your space, what you'll
Right.
appreciate. For
Right.
instance, like a built-in is going to be probably very helpful for you because it will function properly for you. But, maybe we can do something different than the wall treatment here
Right.
that's going to be a little bit more budget friendly.
Or there's also opportunity to say, maybe that's phase 2.
Yes.
What's easier to do now versus what can you wait and do later, right? Laura's team could help you do the built-in later turnkey,
Yeah.
but let's get the structural and the footprint exactly what you want it to be, right? And we always have those situations where everybody pulls it out in the beginning because they have a little bit of sticker shock. And then midway through, they're like, let's add that back in.
Yeah.
Right? Because at that point, they're like, we want it finished when you guys leave.
Yeah, because they don't want anybody in their house again.
Right.
And they want to get settled.
Right.
Do you then have to say, well, now because of cost of goods and prices going up, this has now adjusted. And since you didn't sign off on it then, I mean, the lumber is going up 25% because tariffs and this and that. Have you had a lot of those tough conversations?
We've had some. As far as the tariff stuff goes, we haven't seen an increase in building materials as much as we expected.
Apparently mid-October it's happening.
I know, and we're watching it a bit, and trying to say, it was funny. I was like, now I need to be an economist. Like all the tariff talks that we had in the last 18 to 24 months, it was like, okay, let's put on that hat, right?
But, well, and it's scary because you can't take the hit as the business owner, but then you feel for your clients when you promised this 6 months ago.
Right.
What do you do?
Well, and we are cost plus, and so there are certain things in our bids that we know are going to fluctuate, and lumber's one of them, building materials, right? It's a commodity. So it's going to fluctuate with the market. Our trades are really great about their pricing sticks unless scope changes. The only time we saw where trades needed to change their numbers from like when we first bid to when we executed was during COVID. I mean, there was just no way they could stomach that. The prices just went crazy.
Yes.
But we're not seeing that as much with the tariff situations, and hopefully the next few months don't indicate too much of a jump from there. And then, of course, we tried to come up with some creative solutions, right? Do we use a receiver? Well, that costs money to use a receiver, and it's like that gets passed on to the client.
Right.
So do we gamble and just order materials when we need them, or do you want us to order them all ahead of time and pay to store them? Right. So it just depends. You can play that game a little bit.
It's so stressful.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, then again, you're in their homes, you're in their pocketbook, and
you want them to have the best possible experience with you, because it's also, again, when it's your business, it's a reflection on you.
Yeah. And I mean, we really pride ourselves on just having integrity and honesty and having clients who trust that, we're transparent with all of that. And we want them to know, I mean, we want to find the best deal for them too. But finding the best deal doesn't always mean finding the least expensive, right? So having really reliable trades and suppliers, making sure they're going to show up.
Quality goes a long way.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, you don't want to have to rework something over and over again. Takes time and takes money.
And also, timeliness goes a far way.
Especially when you're out of your home, and you have a place that you're renting and paying for that. We know the urgency of getting back into your space.
Yeah, it's funny because for smaller renovations, sometimes my clients will, like if we're just redoing their kitchen and primary bathroom, they're like, we'll live upstairs.
Yes, we've done that.
And I try to encourage them, if they're able to, at least for a large portion of the really messy, the really smelly parts, try and find a place. But it's hard because, again, it's not my investment. So,
and I mean, it adds to the budget, right? When you can maybe get those fits and finishes that you want.
Yes.
Versus having to spend
that could go into your banquette.
Exactly.
And
Exactly. So, but the ideal is that people move out. I mean, it goes so much more smoothly. It goes fast. I had one client.
They just feel so much less stressed throughout the process.
Yeah. I had a client years ago who was going to live through it, and it was her kitchen, just her kitchen. And probably about 3 weeks into it, she was like, so I found a rental.
You're like, well, that didn't take too long.
It did not take too long. And she was like, and we want to redo our bathroom, and we want to do floors, and just go ahead and do this and that, because she was like, we're out. We can't. I mean, just the dust alone. And there's no way to completely contain it. It's a construction zone.
I know.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think, like, I think until you live through it, you don't realize the magnitude and the extent of the dust.
Right.
Of the exhaustion of the people coming in and out of your
Yeah.
house constantly.
In your
and
space constantly, right? I know.
so much easier just give them the key and
Yes.
say, "I'll see
Yep.
ya when I
And
see ya."
comes back to trust, right? Trust that
Mhm,
we've got this. We've done this
mhm.
before. We know how to do it. Like, just trust that we've got it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so do you have any projects right now that you're particularly excited about?
so many. Two that come to mind for sure. So we have one project that we are working through plans on in Pemberton off Westover, and
Awesome.
it's with a previous client. We did another project with them on Northwood.
Again, a testament to the first
Yes.
experience. That's
Yeah,
so
I
good.
love a repeat client.
Yeah.
It's really fun. And so this one's going to be the house so needs like it needs a facelift so much, and the exterior in particular.
Oh,
And so changing the elevation is going to be so fun, and the architect we're partnering with has done a fabulous job. We're working through some garage details because we have some power lines that we're dealing with and some clearances that we need to figure out.
mhm.
So, we should see those plans actually this afternoon, so I'm
Yay!
excited. But that's one that we're really excited about, and then we have a really great project on Mount Bonnell that has kind of a crazy history to it, but, we're excited. It's got just the most amazing view,
I was just
and
gonna say.
yeah, and the owner, he's, focusing on more of a traditional look, and it's
Oh,
really going to be a beautiful transformation while keeping the house very similar on the exterior
yeah,
and true to what it was originally designed to, so I can't wait to see that one.
that's
Yeah.
amazing. And when do you think you'll be able to see those projects through?
So, I mean, both of them are extensive remodels,
Mhm.
so it'll be about a year for both of
Okay.
them. We haven't broken ground on either one.
Oh, okay, so they're
So,
brand new.
yeah, we're waiting on permits for both, actually.
Okay,
So, we're in different stages of permit submission. So,
okay.
yeah.
How many projects do you typically have in one time?
So, somewhere around 10 to 12. It depends on the scale of them.
Mhm.
So, but somewhere around 10 to 12 at a time.
Okay,
So, yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for
I
being here.
know.
This has been so nice. I love picking your brain because I feel like I learn so much from you every time we chat.
All same.
So, and I'm
It's
sure our
good.
listeners will also very much
Yeah.
appreciate. And if you want to learn more about Janine and all that she has to offer, you can see her amazing projects on Instagram at J9_homes and also on her website, j9homes.com. And thanks for spending a little time here with Laura. If you've enjoyed today's conversation, I'd love it if you'd subscribe, like, and review. Sharing this with a friend helps more than you know. And you can find more about me, today's wonderful guest, and everything we talked about in the show notes today. And until next time, take care of yourself and don't forget to make space for the things that really matter.